Friends, we're back from Massachusetts and we met up with a couple, a husband and wife team, Maria Thomas and Rick Roberts, and they are so awesome. And they are known for what we call Zentangle. Maria Thomas, when she was 5 years old, started painting rocks. And then these rocks were in high demand, painted rocks, of course. And then they started selling out at local bazaars. And then she moved from painted rocks to lettering to botanical paintings. And then, of course, to Zentangle. In the fall of 2003, when Maria Thomas was painting, she was painting this letter with some background. Her husband, Rick, interrupted her and asked her a question. In asking her that question, she noticed that she started feeling selflessness and timelessness and effortlessness. And she was just so immersed in what she was doing. And then Rick described this process as meditation, because he studied meditation for years. They looked closely at the patterns that Maria started to create, and so Zentangle was born. Today, we're going to do our version of some Zentangle techniques, but we're going to create a composition. K to 2 friends, your work is going to look something like this. And of course, we'll use our hand as our template. And my 3 to 5 friends, our Zentangle artwork is going to look something like this. I'll see y'all on the drawing board. Hey friends, today we're going to do our version of a Zentangle design, and we're going to be using our hands as our template. So today's exercise, you will need a blank sheet of paper, pencil, a Sharpie. If you don't have a Sharpie, a black color pencil, a black crayon, or a regular black marker would work. We may or may not use these colors. This is optional for you. I'm going to stick with just these items right in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and clear my board, and I'm actually going to jump straight into using my Sharpie marker today. And we want to put our non-drawing hand on our paper. Go ahead and open the fingers as wide as you can. That way you get a nice, good template going. Awesome. Okay, so here's my template of my hand, and I'm going to go ahead and start my first Zentangle design. And this one is called Knight's Bridge. So I'm going to just draw a curved line here. That way I can include that as part of my design. And Knight's Bridge is going to fit into right where my thumb is. And Knight's Bridge is really, and we learned about these hatching lines. Only that these hatching lines are going to be a little bit further apart. They're not quite as close as we would like hatching lines to be. These lines are running parallel, which means that they are not touching each other. And then we're going to include another set of lines that kind of cross over these lines. And they're just curving. And Knight's Bridge is very similar to a checkerboard, so we want to find one good place to start. So I'm going to start right here at the very tip of the thumb. And I'm going to fill in with my Sharpie the other one, the other space that connects right to it. And this would look like it connects to this space. Now I'm going to skip a spot and come over. So right here, this is going to remain white. And I'm going to skip that spot, come over here. And this is really going to help me continue adding on. And so I want to add on right next to that design, and it's going to go right here. And it's going to go up again. And right here we have that empty spot, so I'm going to fill in that little piece right there. That's going to connect if we didn't accidentally cut it off. And it's going to skip a spot again, and so here we go right here. And again, keep working with the same pattern. Now we're going to start moving to the left. So I'm going to go back to one of my main areas that I have here, and I'm going to move to the left side. So your pattern is going to be black, white, black, white. Moving up. And you would notice as you move up, it actually connects to the left side of one of your original black diamonds, okay? So we're just going to keep working. Go ahead one more. And add another one. I'm going to move to the left side, and you notice our lines are going to slowly start curving downwards. The pattern is going to remain the same. Nothing changes except the direction of your lines. So this is black, so I'm going to move down here. I'm going to move across now. So here's another black spot. And another black spot. And then this one is going to connect right here. This is going to be our last black diamond for our Knight's Bridge. Wonderful. Now we're ready to fill in the rest with some other techniques. And this one is called wave. And wave is really some very curvy lines, 2 of them, separated by some curved lines in another direction. And this is what I mean. So I'm going to block off another space. Let's block off this space right here. And wave looks something like this. So I'm going to draw a wavy line, 2 of them. And they're almost parallel to each other. And I'm going to add in another set of wavy lines. This one looks like it got disconnected and then it reappears again here. And of course, we need to do this twice. And then right in the middle, I'm going to add in some curved lines, but they're going to go in a different direction. So they're not going to go across my page. They're going to go in an up and down motion, almost like a vertical manner, if you would. So these are some curved lines in the opposite direction. And then this is going to skip these wavy lines and then reappear on this side. So here it is, skipping that original curve and reappearing on the other side. This technique is called waves, and you really get a sense of waves. If you want, you can add color right in the middle. And this kind of helps separate the 2 different types of lines that you have here. 2 different directional lines, I should say. That's one. And that's 2. Wonderful. The next one that we will be trying is called the charts. And the charts is really diagonal zigzag lines. So they're in 2 different directions. They're diagonal lines that meet. And they go up and down, up and down. And then we can add in variations of circles or solid color. So I'm going to add my diagonal lines right about here. and their zigzag diagonal lines go, they cross each other. This is multiple diagonal lines. And if I were to continue this line, it would go right here. I'm just imagining what my lines would look like if I were to continue them. And on the side of my diagonal lines, I have a bunch of circles. So I'm going to fill the rest of my space with some circles. And these circles actually touch each other. They actually look like lots of pebbles, close pebbles. So I'm filling in my space with as many circles as possible. And this space goes over to this side, so I'm going to fill this space with some circles. Great, now I'm ready to add my background. One is called the zinger, and the zinger looks like a beehive that's attached to like maybe a stem. And that's really simple. All you do is start off with a circle, and coming from the circle, it looks like another circle. And then we're just building on these circles. Here's another one, and another one, and then you keep adding these circles, but they're not going all the way around. They're only attaching itself to another part on one side. And then when you're done with that, you just add a stem. This is called the zinger. Here's another one. And really it looks like a beehive. Only attaching itself onto one side. Let's add one facing this direction. And you can choose the direction that you want to add your designs in. It does not have to follow the direction that I'm working with. That's the zinger. And the next one is called the cogwheel. And the cogwheel is really just, it's very similar to a doodle. You just let your lines do the talking. And what you do is you try to fill in as much space as possible using one line. Your line is continuous. It does not stop until you are actually done. So I like to start off in the middle, and this is the cogwheel, almost like a very large spiral. Your cogwheel is going to start changing shape the further out you go. And we're trying to stay within the shape. So here I am changing the direction of the cogwheel. Notice that my Sharpie has never left the page. That's one part of my cogwheel. And you can fill in as many parts as possible. This is called cogwheel. Let's add in a nice large part over here. And what it is just, your line is just extending, it is just suiting the shape and morphing or turning its way so that it mimics the shape that it has to fill. And I just worked in reverse with that one. Let's continue this line here. Awesome, that was cogwheel. And then the last one is called stirrup. And stirrup is very similar to cogwheel, only that you're not actually moving your lines in. What do I mean? It's like this. You're filling in the space, but you're not actually creating what we call concentric shapes. So this is more of a concentric view. It starts from the inside and then it works its way out and it radiates out. With stirrup, it is one continuous line, but there's no real thought or plan or process to doing a stirrup. Think of it like a worm that went for a walk, or a slug. What would the slug's journey look like? One long line that keeps going and going. All right, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add in one final outline where my hand was, my temple. I'm just going to darken that line just so we can see our shape of our hand inside our Zentangle artwork. And there you have it, friends, our Zentangle hand. I love Zentangle. That was super awesome. I can't wait to see your artwork. Remember, our artist study today are actually two, Maria Thomas and Rick Roberts, and they are a husband and wife team from Massachusetts. Maria Thomas, when she was 5 years old, she started painting rocks. Then she moved on to letters. Then she moved on to botanical paintings. And then finally, she moved on to Zentangle. After her husband, Rick Roberts, notice the patterns that she started to create in her artwork. I will see y'all next time. Bye. Orange crayon, say bye. Bye. I'll see you next time.